Alrighty, let's sit down and have a chat about the reality of shiny object syndrome in the space that we are all in, which is this online marketing, social media, dropshipping, all that fucking bullshit, right? I think this is something a lot of people struggle with, myself included, and rightfully so, because we're always looking for these new and these better opportunities. And the thing is, business is inherently really, really hard, which is why everything that you're not doing looks better, because people only ever talk about the pros, the upside, never about the downside. And so you're comparing your entire reality to somebody's highlight of their life, which is the fundamental mistake with shiny object syndrome. Now, if you haven't watched my video where I hopped on a call with Ramosi and he completely cured my shiny object syndrome, go watch that because there's a lot of other good details that you might want to know. But I figured I would kind of elaborate a bit more on this because I know that this is something I have struggled and continue to struggle with, and I know a lot of people do as well. And there's this really good quote from Rosie that he tweeted the other day, which is that you don't need to go looking for new opportunities. You don't need to go looking for new ways, new methods. You don't need to go looking for new anything. Solving the hard problems that you are avoiding are the missed opportunities you've been looking for. And I think it's such a great realization for some of us that sometimes the thing, the reason why we look at all these shiny object syndromes is because right now the thing we're doing doesn't work, or doesn't work as well as we think it should or compared to other people. But that already in and of itself is wrong, because nobody goes to the internet and shares how hard making money is, right? No one talks about this stuff because no one wants to hear that stuff, because that stuff doesn't make people buy, right? When you tell somebody how hard something is, you don't get lots of people buying it, right? People want the easy, quick, fast things, which is why there's such a big surge in drop shipping all of a sudden, way back in 2019, in crypto, because it's this idea, this fallacy that we can get rich quick, which fundamentally is not how the world works. You don't the raw reality of this stuff is you don't get rich quick. As a matter of fact, most people that get rich by doing the boring, stupid, dumb, obvious thing for such an extraordinary long time frame that eventually they cash out. It's kind of like bodybuilding, right? Go to the gym. You don't all of a sudden wake up one day and just, go from being a fucking dweeb to Chris Bumstead. That's not how it works. It's a process of day in and day out doing the boring work. And the only reason why you work out and the only reason why you continue to eat good and go to the gym is because you know with 100% certainty that if you do this on a long enough time horizon, you will then make the money, right? Or you will then, in this case, get the body you want. The problem is in business, we have this belief that for some reason, things have to happen quicker. You see, if I told you, hey man, the business you're doing now will make you $1 million, you just have to do exactly what you do now for the next 5 years and you'll be making more than $1 million a year. If that was the case and you believed that to be true, you believed it, would you still look at these other shiny objects and would you go, hey man, I know it's going to be hard, but that's okay because I know in 5 years, then I'm going to cash out? I know how I would feel, and likely you would feel the same way, right? But the problem is we don't feel that. And that's because business isn't guaranteed, right? Your success isn't guaranteed. You could work all day 24/7, right? For 5 years and still make no money. There's plenty of people that do that. Whereas if you work out every single day and you eat good, you will have the body you want. The thing is, in business, it's not guaranteed. And so what happens is we feel that we're working, we're not getting the output, the result that we want. And so we start to second guess ourselves and look at other people. And we look at all the good things they're doing, right? And all the fun and all the crazy stuff that they're doing, right? And all they do is talk about, look how much money you're making, look at so money making, woohoo, it's fun, come join me, without looking at the downside. And what we do is we compare their highlights to our reality, and we go, oh, this looks way better and easier. And then you go and try that. And then guess what happens? You get there, right? If you look at the 5 stages of behavioral change, uninformed optimism, you get there with uninformed optimism, woohoo, this is going to be the best thing in the world. And then you get to informed pessimism. The guy's like, oh yeah, by the way, it took me 7 years to build this company of working 16 hours a day without switching anything and doing the boring work. And you're like, oh fuck. And then you go down to the valley of despair, and then that's either where you go try something new or you get to informed optimism, okay? And then you succeed after that. We digress. That's the 5 steps of behavioral change. And so I think that a lot of people, we forget that this idea, that shiny object, is very real and it happens to everybody. And as you grow and get better, the shiny objects don't go away. They actually get bigger and better. You just get better at realizing when something is a shiny object. Also, a really, really good way for determining if something is a shiny object is ask yourself this: what are the cons associated with it? And if you can't say any cons, if you can't say any bad things about it, you can only name the good things about how good it is, it's probably a shiny object. Shiny object in and of itself means it's shiny, means it's beautiful, means it's gorgeous, means it looks perfect, right? But like, that's like, there's nothing in this world that is that. There's no business model that is that. The best business model is the one that you're going to stick to, right? It's been proven, right, that there's people who make tons of money drop shipping. That I'm not one of them. Trust me, I failed and I lost thousands of dollars. There's people who make tons of money, running SaaSes. There's people who make tons of money running agencies. There's people making tons of money doing crypto, and there's people making tons of money doing affiliate marketing. There's people making tons of money in every different space. You know what? There's not people making tons of money in all of them simultaneously at the same time. You never hear about that, right? You never hear about the rich crypto agency, SaaS, drop shipping, Forex trader. You never hear about that. But you hear about the one guy who scaled his SMMA to 100K a month. You hear about the one guy who made $1 million Forex trading, or the one guy who makes 20K a month drop shipping. You do hear those stories, but not simultaneously together. And that's, I think, the part that we need to understand is like all of these things work in their own right. Respectively, they all do work, but the only one that's going to work is the one that you stick to long enough to learn to then make it work. All these businesses work. It's been proven, right? You just have to stick to something long enough to learn it to then make it work, right? Like imagine if you tried to go pro in sports. Well, you can go pro in basketball, hockey, soccer, football, baseball, swimming, like golfing for all I care. It doesn't matter, right? But you can't go pro in all of them at once, right? Here's the thing. You can go pro in all of them, just not all at once. And so you have to decide which one you're going to do. Here's the thing. If you try basketball for a day and go, oh shit, I'm not pro. That guy's pro in golf. Maybe I should try golf. And then you go try golf. You're not going to be a golf pro in a day because that's unrealistic. And you're going to keep jumping back and forth to different sports, hoping that you can become a pro by just snapping your fingers one day. And it doesn't happen. And that's where this problem is that people have this false belief that business should be easy. It's not. It should be hard. Like it is difficult. It is difficult, and some people don't talk about this, but it is difficult, and it is hard, and you will sacrifice, and you will have to endure pain and all this stuff, and like, that's normal. I'll tell you this, that is normal. Anybody who has made an absurd amount of money has gone through pain and suffering in some way, shape, or form. They have. It's just when they share their story, typically speaking, we have something called selective hearing, myself included, and we only want to hear the things that serve us, right? We only, when somebody's talking to us, we only want to hear the things that serve us, that benefit us. Right? It's called selective hearing, when we just like to hear the things that make us feel better, right? Like confirmation bias. And that's obviously not very good. And so I guess a good rule of thumb is when you're dealing with quote unquote shiny objects, just ask yourself, what are the downsides? What are the cons? What are the negatives associated with this? And if you can't name them, it's probably a shiny object. Because if you can't even begin to understand the negative, associations with the thing you're trying to do, means you probably have a false perception of what it is, because everything that is better than it seems is better than it seems, right? Like everything that is too good to be true, typically speaking, is on a surface level, right? Like, oh, all you got to do is, just open this Shopify store and sell this product and you'll become a millionaire. Not true. Can you become a millionaire doing that? Yeah, but typically it takes a lot of learning of the skills required to actually sell the products and build the stores, et cetera, right? So, I think the thing you got to take away, and everybody knows this, but we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught, is that the grass is greener where you water it. It's not greener there, here, or anywhere. It is greener where you water it, and that's it. Right? Like, that is where it's the most green. The problem is people do is they stand there with the water jug in their hand and they look and they go, hey, that guy's grass is green. I want that guy's grass. And then they go to try and get that guy's grass, right? But what they do is they don't bring their fucking water jug, and then when they get there, their grass is dying. Because it's not the grass that made the person good, it's the person that made the grass good. Right? It's not the business model that makes people rich, it's people that make the business model rich. In the sense that it's never about the business model. It's about the person. Did you water the grass or did you not water the grass, right? Because the guy who shows up every single day and waters his grass and takes care of it, he will have nice green grass. That's because he's dedicated. It's the same in business. Okay, and I know that there's this huge, everyone wants to shiny objects is such a hard thing to deal with. Like I said, if you haven't watched my video with Hermosi about this, go watch it. I promise you it'll change your life if this one hasn't already. But just remember that it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be hard, and you will second guess yourself, and that's normal. But the people who make it big know that that's normal and don't give up in the process. So do with that what you will. Okay, do with that what you will. If you have any questions, comment them down below. I reply to every single comment because I knew when I was a young kid, I used to watch a lot of YouTube, and I just wish that I could ask the people that I was watching questions. And so I am repaying the favor by doing that. So if you have any questions, let me know and I will answer them. Other than that, have a great day. Best of luck beating your shiny object syndrome.